Hi everybody, this is Lori Atkins back from Oh Baby Lactation Care in Connecticut. Hope you're well. This video I wanted to do for you today is about pumping basics, and I get lots of questions about pumping, of course, because again, moms go back to work, and the last video I did about paced bottle feeding kind of feeds into this a little bit. So pumping is become in the United States something really super popular, again, because moms go back to work. Sometimes you have to pump because the baby isn't latching or the baby needs milk quicker than you can get it out with your hands. There's lots of reasons why pumping is important to some breastfeeding moms and babies, or if not most, especially in the US. So I thought it was important that we kind of talk about how to do that today, just a basic kind of a primer, and things that I thought of today that I feel like I get like that wow factor from parents, that stuff they didn't know. So that's kind of what I'm going to. I know there's a lot of videos out there on pumping, but I wanted to kind of give you pro tip from the RN lactation consultant who kind of sees these problems and wants to help moms fix them a little bit. So I'm going to start with the question I want you to ask yourself. Why are you pumping? Are you pumping for an occasional bottle? Is it something you want your partner to help you feed at night or someone to help you out for the baby? That's fine. Are you planning on exclusively breastfeeding and just giving that occasional bottle? Then your choices, I think, are a little bit different. And I'm not going to get into big time about choosing a pump. We may another point. Let me know down below if you want me to do that. I certainly can go into how to choose a pump. But for now, just kind of think about, is it something that you would like to think about, maybe a silicone breast pump? Those go by lots of different names. Every company makes one now. Haka, you've heard of that. That's that silicone squeezy pump. I have one over here. Lancino makes a pump. Everybody kind of makes that silicone breast pump, and that's when you squeeze and put it on one side and feed the baby on the other. An easy way, passive way to get some milk. Not electric, it's just suction squeeze. You can use a hand pump. Medela makes a great hand pump. I like theirs, and I don't mind saying that. Harmony, their Harmony pump is great, and it's a hand pump, but it's a lot of work on the hand, on the wrist. So you're pumping on one side, you're pumping on the other. Some moms get a ton of milk because they can use their hands, and others don't. So that's something that you can try. And they're fairly price range, probably really fair price range. So you're not spending a whole bunch of money, maybe $40, maybe under that, 25. It depends on where and what you want. For our purposes today, we're going to talk about double electric pumping because most insurance companies cover a pump on some level. And I do have a Spectra in my office. This is a Spectra S1. The Spectra, there's the front of it. This is a blue color. The Spectra S2 is pink. And the important to know about these pumps is that the only difference between the Spectra S1 and the S2 is a battery. The S2 does not have a battery. The S1, the blue one, does. And the battery is pretty badass. It works for a while, and it's nice to have if you have the choice to get one. Some insurance companies don't cover the full price of an S1, but will let you upgrade. I'm a Spectra fan. I have no qualms about saying that to you. It's a great pump, not because I just love it, but my clients love it. So it's got a little vibration to it. It's got a great light. I'm just going to turn the light on for you so you can see. It's so awesome. I mean, and this is a light that you can change a diaper to in the middle of the night. It's pretty good. So for our purposes today, I'm just going to put it down here. But in any pumping situation and any feeding situation, if you know me at all about the hands. It works. Using your hands, using warm hands, getting your hands on your breasts, doing a little massage, doing a little bit of a toss, a breast milk shake. It sounds bizarre. Don't laugh at me. I did not coin the term. The great Maya Bowman did. But anyway, you can kind of do a little breast milk shake, breast gymnastics. That's Maya's term. And you kind of get your breasts ready. So you don't want to hurt yourself. It's not this deep level massage or anything painful or injurious. You're just doing some gentle massage, taking a deep breath, relaxing, taking your hands, hopefully warm hands, on your breasts, and then do a little hand expression. And again, if you know me at all, I'm all about hands on the breast because it works. You're going to push back toward the chest wall and underneath that nipple and let go. Back to the chest wall underneath. Get that milk right on the tip of the nipple. Take a nice deep breath. Get that oxytocin flowing a little bit. And then this is the biggest thing I want to show you. well, not the biggest, but a big important part about pumping. When you pump, I do not want you to hold the pump like this, like the bottles here. No, 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 no. When you pump, I want you to hold your fingers like a peace sign. Make peace with your pump. Put that, do you see what I just did? And then what happens when I do this, and I've got my hands here, I don't know if you can see, there we go. Now I've got my, look what I have free. I've got my thumb, and then you can do that nice massage during the pumping. Again, you're not jamming your finger in there. I do not want to see little bruises. I don't want you to have little bruises on your breast. But just gentle enough that you're moving, you're helping move that milk and keeping that warm hand moving that milk on. So this makes a big difference, holding your finger like a peace sign. You want to double pump, and I don't have two breasts to show you with two hands, but you get the picture. So you want to double pump. And when you double pump, you are increasing the oxytocin that's coming from your brain a little quicker, and you're taking less time. Look, I know that this is tough, and I don't want you to pump forever. It's not cool. 15 to 20 minutes-ish. If you find that there's a lot of milk coming at 15 or 20 minutes, and you're in the middle of a letdown where you see that milk spraying here, you can see the milk kind of coming from the nipple, and you see that kind of spray hitting here, finish that. Go through that letdown process, and then stop. But you want to get through at least 2 letdowns where you see that squirt kind of, so you're going to get your most milk, about 70% of your milk in that time frame. You want to, like I said, double pump. You can use a pumping bra, that's fine, but I still want you to put your hands on it every few minutes and kind of do a squeeze. Watch for that spray letdown. You can do some meditation. There's a great pumping meditation on YouTube I found, and I was like, it's 20 minutes long. This woman did a great job. I think you could just put breast pumping meditation into YouTube search and it comes up. Pretty cool. You can bring something that smells like your baby. You can tape your baby and put it on your phone. You can play music. You can watch Netflix. You can scroll through your Facebook feed, whatever. You can watch my videos. Whatever works for you to relax and not to think about it too much. And start, I tell you to watch, when I'm teaching pumping, I teach moms to watch what's happening in here because it's probably for a strategy to increase supply or whatever. But generally, if you don't watch what you're pumping, you usually pump better. So, you can cover this. There's a great hack out there by an IBCLC who's taught people to cover this with a baby sock, although that is kind of big. Just a towel over your chest, a spit rag, whatever. Just try not to look too much. It's just a better way to make more milk that way. The other thing I want to teach you, if you're trying to increase your supply, you can do a couple things. You can do a power pump once a day. What's a power pump, Lori? Okay, so a power pump is pumping one of those times during the day, if you're home, to pump for 1 hour. Not pumping for an hour, but hold on. For 1 hour, you're doing 10 minutes on and 10 minutes off the breast. So you're pumping, you're double pumping. For 10 minutes, you're coming off. 10 minutes, you're coming off. 10 minutes, you're coming off. So it's 3 ons and 3 offs in 1 hour. Get it? For 60 minutes, you're getting that 10 on. Yeah, you get it. So for that power hour, you're spiking that prolactin level over and over again. So that can boost supply a little bit, especially if you're around your period time or if you're going back to work and you want to get a couple of weeks before you want to try that. Or even when you start working on the weekend. I want you to do a lot of baby skin-to-skin time. That'll bump your supply up. Just putting your baby here, kind of reminding your body that here's the baby, and can make a lot of milk that way. So that's a good strategy. Skin to skin is always a lovely thing to do, and it's a good strategy to make more milk. So you can power pump once a day, and then the rest of the time you can pump your regular times, probably every 2 to 3 hours. And if you can also hand express, and this has been really remarkable in my practice. I have noticed a lot more milk, and so have moms, if you kind of put your at the end of pumping, or you can stop about halfway. So if you're going to pump for 15 minutes, you stop at about 7 minutes or so. Then stop the pump, flip the flange underneath the breast, and hand express right into the flange. It's right here. You can catch it. It's like a little cup. And you'd be surprised at how much milk you can get with your hands. I'm always surprised. So do a little hand expression, re-massage, and then put the pump back on for that next 7 minutes, 8 minutes to the end of the pump session. especially, again, if you're trying to increase supply, you can use this technique. It works really well. And look for this stuff to work over time. You know, you're not going to see it that day probably. And with a power pump, you're not going to see milk gushing during that 10 on, 10 off, 10 on, 10 off thing. You're not going to see that. It's going to be the day after that you can see a bump in supply. So a lot of these techniques that we're doing, you're going to see supply increase over the next few days. The other thing is make sure that you pump overnight if the baby is not eating overnight, or if the baby's starting to sleep a long period of time. And this is probably a little bit more than we can do in this video, but if you think about pumping overnight, you're utilizing that prolactin surge that happens. Prolactin is the other hormone that comes from your brain. That surge that comes overnight. Bummer, I know I didn't design this system. But that surge that happens overnight, prolactin is higher overnight. It's very cyclical, so it kind of rises overnight and into the morning. That's why you wake up in the morning and there's lots of milk. You're utilizing that. So if you can pump in the middle of the night, or in that morning time before the first feeding, or right before you go to bed, it can help a little bit. So if you want to, again, boost your supply a little bit, get a little bit more milk, you can try pumping it in the time frame in the middle of the night. I want you to sleep too. That's not negotiable. So sleep is more important, but definitely if you're trying to do it, it's a good strategy. If you're trying to get a little milk before you go back to work, try pumping in the morning. So after that first morning feeding, anywhere between, I don't know, that morning time, between 5 and like 8 o'clock or something in the morning. Try pumping about an hour after that. You want your breast to refill a little bit. There's always breast milk there. Don't want you to think the breasts have to fill and then decrease and fill. The breast is always making milk, and an emptier breast actually makes milk faster. Remember that. So if you go long periods between emptying the breast and you get a lot of milk, that's not going to last long. There'll be a signal sent back to the brain to decrease supply. So about an hour after you feed the baby, try pumping. Use these techniques that we just talked about, but you may get a little bit more bang for your buck. And remember, most pumps are anywhere between 2 and 4 ounces. Some women make a little bit less if they have less storage capacity. It's normal. Women who are making 8, 9, 10 ounces every time they pump are rare, and it's not necessarily within the realm of norm. If they're making that, there could be other issues going on. That could be oversuppliers, and that's not what you should expect. So if you hear that, see that all over social media, I know that's like the thing, right? Oh, I make this much milk. Every woman makes milk differently. Please do not worry about that. If you are concerned about supply at all, reach out to a local IBCLC and they'll be able to help you discern if there's a concern or not. Remember, most women, most parents stop breastfeeding for perceived low milk supply. So the perception of low milk supply is more detrimental to breastfeeding than the actual low milk supply if it exists. So general pumping tips, we're going to get into this a little bit more. Let me know down below what else you'd like to talk about and see. And we can delve into this a little deeper and tackle all kinds of subjects. I'm so happy to be with you on YouTube. Take care. Bye.